So good morning, everyone. My name is Jerry Jacobitz, and I'm the Veteran Program Coordinator for the City of El Paso. And today is our Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee meeting virtually at 10:09. Additionally, I want to remind everybody to maintain your professionalism as this is being live streamed. It's also uploaded to YouTube, and at the completion of this meeting, you'll be on our city TV. Guests are reminded if you're not called upon to keep your mic muted and to raise your hand if you want to speak, if you want to have any citizen comments. And now, if everyone would please stand so we can do the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Vice. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, call to order. We're going to start off with item number 3, roll call. District 1.
Here.
Okay. District 2. That's me, present, Ron Jackson. District 3.
Present, Donna White.
District 4.
Present, Roberto Garza.
District 5.
Present, George Alcester.
District 6.
District 6 is vacant, Mr. Vice.
7. Finally, 8. Okay.
And then the Mariel appointee, sir.
Oh yeah, Mayor appointee.
Ruben Ramirez, present.
Thank you, sir. Item number 4, we're going to discuss actions and approve minutes for October 19th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes from the October meeting.
Second.
All right, minutes are approved.
Citizens comment period. Individuals got 3 minutes to speak to the VAAC. Anybody? We have anybody that want to speak at this time? Okay.
Yeah, we have nobody signed up for citizens' comments.
Okay.
Sir.
Moving item number 6, the VA Health Director. Is he present? Is he on Zoom?
Hi, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
All right, good morning. Good to see everybody this morning. A couple of quick updates from the El Paso VA. First, I want to thank everybody for your help and collaboration last week for the numerous Veterans Day week and Veterans Day events, parades that happened throughout the entire week. Our teams had a great time hosting several events, participating, supporting several events, and it was good to see everybody throughout that week. And special thanks to Robert Garza for joining us at our Veterans Day ceremony here at the El Paso VA and being a special speaker for us. So appreciate that very much. A couple of quick updates. I think I might have mentioned this in the past, but we have been really focused in on, as many of you all know, on aggressive recruitment and retention of providers across all of our clinical services. And I'm happy to report that we're continuing to make excellent progress in that regard. When looking at our primary care teams across the system, it appears that we are now entering a stabilized period of sustainment in terms of filling key critical vacancies across each one of our sites of care, and also having a good number of about 16 new providers joining the organization over the course of the next 90 days. So we're making excellent progress there, and already our wait times are improving dramatically. About a month ago, our new patient waits for primary care here at Maine was hovering at about 86 days. Fast forward to yesterday, we're at 29 days, and we're getting even closer to the Mission Act wait time standard of 20 days, and that is our goal. We want to be able to meet and exceed that across every single one of our sites of care. So we'll continue to make good progress, and we'll continue working on that as well. In terms of behavioral health, we have made 100% selection and onboarding of all of our prescriber teams, and those teams are full steam ahead, and we're also starting to work on bringing in a lot of that community care workload back into the El Paso VA behavioral health team. But we're still focused on filling key critical therapy vacancies, and the team is already making excellent progress in FY24 since October through today. We have a lot of new providers joining our organization almost every 2 weeks, and so we're excited about that as well. Recently brought on an endocrinologist over in medical service. We have some additional specialty providers in optometry, for example, ophthalmology, cardiology also joining the organization over the next several pay periods. So we're excited about being able to expand and have access across all of our clinical service lines. So more to come there. In terms of our major construction projects, we're talking about the replacement facility of our main campus. That is coming along nicely. We anticipate that the design and award, the design and construction award for that major construction project should be awarded by the end of December. And so that is just around the corner. And we anticipate about a 12-month design year process, and then we'll pivot to construction shortly thereafter. So as we continue to hit some of these timelines within our overall project, I'll continue to update the team, and we'll continue to collaborate together on a possible future groundbreaking ceremony in the near future. So more to come there. In terms of our east side expansion and our Las Cruces expansion, we are continuing to work on those procurement opportunities, and we anticipate that the award for those 2 locations, approximately 30,000 or so of additional new space on the east side and approximately 20,000 square feet of additional space in Las Cruces. We anticipate the awards of those leases likely in Q2 of fiscal year 24. So we're excited about that. And the east side, like I mentioned, that is where we're going to be activating our first urgent care center with extended hours. That will be up first for our organization, and we're excited to bring that service, that critical service, to our veteran patients, especially since on the east side is where we've seen the majority of our patient growth. Okay, so I've hit on wait times, I've hit on access, I've hit on recruitment and retention, and then some of our expansion plans. Do want to just quickly mention that we have our new date for our next PAC claims clinic, which is currently scheduled for Friday, December 8th, over at the American Legion Post 122. So we are going to continue to work with some of our community partners to make these as successful as can be. So more to come as we firm up some of those details. And with that, team, I'll shut up there and turn it over to you all for any questions or comments you may have.
Anybody got any comments at this time?
I have a question. Hello, sir. How are you?
Doing good. Good to see you. Good morning.
I just recently had a few inquiries about virtual reality education, that people are going out doing presentations, and that they were talking about a virtual reality program that you guys are implementing as complimentary to your behavioral health. I just wondered if you had any additional information about that. It sounds really fun. It sounds cool, and I'm looking forward to. I have actually one of those little virtual realities, and it's really neat. But I heard that they're trying to even implement it in inpatient, intensive settings.
Yeah. So the virtual reality initiative is still fairly new, but nonetheless, the modalities in which they're applying this are a couple in terms of pain management, for example, and also in behavioral health settings. And so as the team continues to formalize the program and get more marketing out there in terms of the impact and outcomes that we're seeing, I can certainly potentially have one of our providers who's helping us in that area kind of speak to it maybe at the next Veterans Advisory Council better than I can. And we can do that if that's something the team would like.
I think that would be a wonderful idea. And then, and also maybe an opportunity to have someone come speak to us about your peer support services. And those are the two things that I'm interested in deep diving on. And if they can't come here, I'd be happy to go to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Will do.
Any more comments? Okay, no more comments. We're going to go ahead and move to item number 7. El Paso County updates. Do we have Antoinette Hunt online?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Antoinette Hunt, El Paso County Veterans Assistance Program Manager. Just a couple of quick updates. So things are starting to wind down with the holiday season, but we're using that time to finish myself and one other VSO accreditation. to be able to do claims benefits. Also, some housekeeping stuff as far as our tracking. That way we can have appropriate data for Commissioners Court when we go back to them in the spring for budget. On December 16th, I am organizing volunteers to do the Wreaths Across America at the cemetery. There are 2 shifts. There's a 7 to 11 shift, and there's actually a ceremony at 10 a.m. I am taking the afternoon shift, which is 11 to 1500, and it's on our Facebook page. So if anybody wants to sign up to volunteer, we will be out there on that day. The other note that I kind of just wanted to mention is that our financial assistance grant, the checks are released via Commissioners Court. So as the holiday season comes around, Commissioners Court was canceled for the 20th and the 27th, which means checks won't go out until December 4th. And then again, during Christmas, I believe it's the 26th and then the 2nd of January. Let me make sure those dates. During Christmas again, yeah, the 25th and the 1st, the Commissioners Court was canceled also then, so then we'll have a break in checks going out. So if we can get that word out, that way we can work around those dates to get everybody the help that they need. I appreciate that. Pending any questions from you all?
Yeah, I was reading something when you first started talking about the Wreaths event.
Okay.
So December the 16th is the day that you're actually going to be putting them out?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, and I've already posted to our Facebook page. There's a QR code for volunteering. If anybody wants to sign up and come out, I will be out there with my family, but I just wanted to share that because I think it's a very important event, just kind of give back a little bit, so.
And what time does it start?
It starts at 7 a.m. There's a 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. shift. And then there's a ceremony at 10 where they actually do the formal part of it. And then there's an 11 a.m. to 1500 shift. And that's one that we'll be taking.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And just to confirm, that's on the El Paso County Facebook page, correct?
Yes, it is on our Facebook page, and I think the county posted it, and then the Veterans Assistance posted it as well. If you guys have any issues, you can always shoot me an email, and I'll get you where you need to be.
Hello, Antoinette.
Good morning.
Question of the day. Maybe you can help me understand. I figure if I don't understand, there's probably a lot of other veterans that may not. Or the Disabled American Veterans Benefits Office in the Northeast, I heard may have to close because they don't have any funding. Your office takes care of the similar stuff, or is that different? And where that gap? I'm just curious about. From my knowledge, you go to the VA and you can get the same services. You can go to your office and get the same services on the east side, but is that going to leave a gap in our community if that one closes?
Potentially it could. This is the first I'm hearing of it. But just to let you know, like right now we only have Efren who's accredited to do the VA disability claims for our office. Myself and Mike are working on accreditation. That should be done through the holiday season. At the VA has a benefits team, and Texas Veterans Commission has an office at the VA that helps with claims benefits. My understanding is there's a shortage all around, but we're working on getting our 2 team members accredited so they can start diving deep into that and making sure that we're the best at what we do. And then we're looking at data for the county of El Paso for like how many claims, accredited claims people do we have opposed to like Houston, who's a large veteran community. So we're looking at data right now so I can take it to the court and say we need X amount more people. So that's something that I'm already working on. We hope to not have a gap in service, but I mean, we're ready and willing to kind of help fill that gap.
Okay, I know that if it was just a matter of funding, does that funding come from your office or the city or the county to cover that office, or is just there's just no funding to continue it, or you're not?
You mean for the DAV? We have nothing to do with their funding, so I'm not sure why, if they're closing, but I'll reach out to them and talk to them and see what's going on. I'm not sure where their funding comes from. Our funding comes from, we go through a budget process. So like if I need 2 additional personnel, then it has to go through the request process, and then HR will review, and then the Commissioners Court will vote on which positions get approved or not approved during budget season. So if that gives you any kind of insight. But I will look into what's going on with the DAV and what kind of gaps that we can look at, and then see if we can put into place some kind of plan to absorb any claims that they've already started or whatever, so that way we can make sure everybody's taken care of.
So the DAV, the DAV 10 has Robert Velez, who has an office at the VA, so he's covering those. Also, the VSOs that the DAV has, they may be losing their building, but they're not losing the ability to still help people. They can go anywhere where they can put their laptop and still help them with their claims. And then obviously once they do their part, then they take it on to the next step at the VA. So we're not necessarily losing the ability to support the claims. We're losing that building where they usually set up their office. That's what they're losing, not losing the ability to support the claims.
Thank you for that clarification, sir. Do we have any more questions for Ms. Hunt?
I just have a comment also on the DAV, and I think that one thing that we might be able to help them out with is exploring other options, finding other locations, like Roberto Garza was saying. It's just the physical location that's closing down, but they still have the people and the services. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for us to look out there in the community, see other nonprofit organizations that might have some space for them to function in.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Same to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ms. Hunt. Is there more questions from Ms. Hunt? No? Okay. We're moving down to item number 8, community updates. So we have, do we have anybody from the VAAC, from the county here online?
No, Mr. Vice, we do not have anybody on in this meeting right now, so we'll go ahead and skip it. We also do not have anybody on for the El Paso Coalition for the Homeless. So.
Thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and jump down to number 9. The first item, review the VAAC information for the slides.
Right, so those are the slides that I sent out last week. They're not here. I sent them out last night, late at night, and we went over at the last meeting. What I was asking for about this is there was anything else that anybody wanted me to add to the slide deck.
I honestly think the slides is perfect, sir.
Wow, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, no comments on the slides at this time from anybody? If not, we're going to go ahead and move to item B, which is employment. You got any updates for us, sir?
So no major updates. The subcommittee did not meet this month. However, we did have some conversations and looking at the way forward of how we are going to support the employment efforts. We have been, or myself, I've been reaching out to multiple agencies and employers and figuring out how they support the veteran community. And I'm going to be coming back with an update on that and having those employers come here or call in and brief on what they're doing to support the veteran community through employment.
Thank you, sir. Next is homelessness, which is just me on there right now. I got one update that Sergeant Major Jakowitz shared with us, and it came from a bigger number. From 2010, the homelessness rate was at 55.3. It has dropped down to 11 points, and that affect El Paso. So here in El Paso, we had 84 homeless veterans, and now it's dropped down to 44 homeless veterans. And I've learned this morning that they all are already in temporary housing, ready to be in permanent housing. So that's a good job for the homeless community with the VA here in El Paso. Next, Donna Juarez, do you have any updates on mental health?
And so that was one thing that I know that it was very important that anyone that belonged to the VA. Yes, sir. Restate it. Yes, sir. I had the opportunity to meet with key players at the VA. One of the items that they shared that would heavily contribute to a strategic plan, not just for the VA, for our community, is they received a survey in the mail, all veterans that are enrolled and are service-connected with the VA. You received a survey. Please fill that out. They will not be able to collect the data to successfully hear your voice if you don't send that back. So I think that's critical information that we could all share. Anyone in the community that's listening, please advise any veteran, or if you're a veteran, please check and complete that survey and send them back. The second thing that I wanted to share was service connection versus enrolled. If you're not service connected or enrolled into the VA, they have wonderful services. You heard you heard Mr. Garza talk about the wait time. I think you can get in as soon as anywhere between 30 to 40 days for mental health. But we're very fortunate here in this city. Just a reminder to anyone in the public listening that we have 4 federal and state agencies that can also stand in the gap until you get into your mental health, and that is Endeavors, Veterans One Stop, Vet Center, and Amistad, and that they can hold you over till you get into your first appointment. The intention is that, we use that adequately so that it can open up for those veterans that don't decide that they don't ever want to use the VA for whatever reason. But I can tell you right now, mental health, the VA wants you back. They really are making great strides in changing, and if you had a bad experience at one time, they really have a wraparound service that goes way beyond just your mental health appointments. So I just wanted to point that out, that if you're service connected or enrolled, which means if you're not service connected and enrolled and you're a veteran, then they are really asking that you get enrolled. 1, because it contributes to the funds that come here to El Paso. 2, because they're putting billions of dollars into our local VA that have some wonderful wraparound services. And you heard about the virtual VR, which means the virtual VR is just a tool in your toolbox to complement your mental health. And it's a great program, and you'll hear more about that. Our next mental health meeting is January the 5th at 4 p.m. at Kinley's Tea House. And for those of that need to be there, I hope to look at our strategic plan, line up what we're going to do for the 12 months, and be able to come up with a survey that we can use generically, not to override what our surveys that we're doing here in town, but to at least collect some data while we reach out to our community. And, if we can prevent one suicide, one person that finds themselves in a situation where they feel like there's no hope in life, we've done our job. So that's my update on mental health. Yes, sir.
I just want to kind of jump on what you were saying as far as, if someone has an issue with their appointment time or whatever, just bring it up. And I think that's important because I recently had an issue with my mental health appointment, and I can tell you that I brought it up, and in a matter of, I got a phone call 2 days after I made the complaint, and the issue was corrected in a matter of 2 weeks. So if you if you say what your problem is to the VA, they're going to make sure that your issues are not lapsed, that you're going to have the coverage you need. So make sure if you don't pass anything on to the public, bring up your issues.
Right, thank you. And just lastly, any veteran, anyone in need, go straight to any behavioral health center or ER. You don't have to ask anybody permission, just get the help that you need. Thank you.
Thank you for the insight, Donna.
Donna, real quick, January the 4th at what time? 5th? I'm sorry. At 4 p.m.
It's 10:33 a.m.
Got it. Backwards.
All right, moving right along. We're going to go to discussions and actions, item number 10. So we're going to go ahead and discuss and vote on the homeless chair committee at this time. Do we have any volunteers that's going to be the homeless chair?
Just as a review, so it's Mr. Ruben Ramirez and Ron Jackson. They're also on the homeless committee. And Justin Roddy, did a great job for us for the last 4 years, but he's timing out. This will be the last month to participate. I don't think he made it on today, but so we do need to have a chair appointed and voted on.
Okay, I'll do the chair. There's 2 people on it, so he the mayor.
All right, so do I have a nomination for Mr. Ron Jackson?
I nominate Ron Jackson.
All right, and
Second that.
Second. All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. All right, we have it.
Thank you, team. Next is, we're going to vote on assigning members to subcommittees at this time.
And Mr. Vice, just the reason why we're going to do that is we obviously have a new member to our committee today, George Elsesser. I think I got that right. Did I get it right?
You did.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're going to say yes anyways, right? But anyways, welcome to our committee. We're really proud to have him here representing District 5, I believe, right? And then and the veterans in that community. Just a little introduction to the board, and for anybody online that does not know, George here he's a retired Command Sergeant Major, but he's also the director of the Armed Services YMCA, which provides has a huge impact on our community, both military-wise, because a lot of the students that are going to the Sergeant Majors Academy stay there when they're GO batchnets while they're going to the academy. And also, personally, I know this for a fact that when you have some challenges out there with service members or veterans and they need a place to stay, George his organization always opens the doors and helps out our community in that fashion. He's very active in the veteran community, so we're pleased to have him on board, sir.
Thanks, Jerry. Welcome, sir.
So with saying that, we'll go ahead and see which board Mr. Elsesser would like to be on.
I would like to be nominated for the Mental Health Subcommittee and the Employment Subcommittee, if there's room on those 2 committees.
Yeah, there is. So mental health and
Employment.
employment?
Very good.
All right, so you said mental health and employment?
Yes.
All right, so first of all, do I have a nomination for Mr. Elsesser to be on the employment
Motion.
subcommittee? Motion,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No opposed? And then the second would be for mental health nomination? Right,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Excellent. Congratulations, Mr. Elsesser.
Thank you.
All right, moving right along to item number 11, Division of Veterans and Mental Health, military,
Yeah, it's me, Military Affairs. So, appreciate it, and, well, I think this is the fastest meeting that we have ever had in the history of the VAAC. So, either we're becoming really professional at this, or we didn't have enough presenters this time. But anyways, as always, it's great to be here, representing the veterans in the military for our city, Paul and I. And I'm gonna turn it over to Paul if he's on, if he wants to make some comments after I get it done. But like I said, so this, first of all, I want to say thank you and congratulations to Brian Kianoff and Justin Roddy, who have served on this committee and done some amazing things and helped us out. and, you know, everything that they do out there, but they'll both be timing out. Brian has an opportunity to do a second term, and he's just waiting on his city council member to make the decision. So thank you very much, and I appreciate everything that you've done for this community, sir. Right? And saying that, so the next, our next VAAC meeting, this will be the last VAAC meeting till January, and I know we have a point that we'll talk about that a little bit later on, but I just want to remind everybody out there, so I say it twice, that we will not be having a VAAC meeting in December. So the first thing I want to really, I want to talk about a little bit today is the airport parking situation for our veterans. If you remember about 2 months ago, we had the airport come down here and they gave us a brief on the new airport parking. We have posted on social media. It's been up on the airport's website for over a year now also, what the proposals were, and it was briefed to city council. The reason why I'm telling you this is because I've had some veterans in the community that said that it's not been put out there in the information, but the challenge that we always have with any organization is the communication piece, right? And so we communicate it, but is the message getting to the right people out there? So I need everybody's help here on the VAAC that we make a point of talking to our veterans out here about the why, and really, maybe not the why so much, but what the rules are. So the new rules that are going to be effective at the end of this month is short-term parking for veterans will be free for 5 days, the short-term parking lot, and then the long-term parking lot will be free to our disabled vet. So let me caveat, you have to be a disabled veteran with DV license plates and a DV card. It will be free for 30 days in the long-term parking lot. And if you look at the information that I gave you today, there is a slide in here that just talks about where in relationship that is. So the short-term or the long-term parking in our city's airport is right next to each other. There is a shuttle that's available from the long-term parking, so it's not a long distance walk, but there's also shuttles that are available that go on a regular basis. And the reason why, you know, we made this decision was made within the city and the airport was so that, for a couple of reasons, we had some veterans that were parking in the short-term parking lot for an extended period of time. And we as citizens of the city and being veterans, you know, I think that we can all say that 5 days, I think 5 days in short-term parking lot's good, and having 30 days in long-term parking lot for myself as a veteran, that seems very reasonable. But also, if you have any questions, anybody that, let's say you go to the airport, you park in short-term parking, and you're going to, you know, New York City, right? And you're going to go visit your friend, and something happens, and you have to extend it into 2-3 days. All the veteran has to do is they have to call 915-771-7990 and let the airport know that, hey, my plans have changed, emergency or something changed, and I need to extend. And the airport will work with our veterans out there. Now, it's a couple of days, right? But we just can't be sitting out there parked for over like 150 days in the short-term parking lot, because anybody that's ever been to the honor flight or anything that we do down at the airport, or just going down traveling frequently, knows it's very hard to find parking in the short-term parking the way it is. And so last time on honor flight, we had to have family members of veterans, World War II veterans, Vietnam veterans, that had to walk because they had to park in the hotel parking spot to get in access to the airport. So we want to make sure that and then everybody else, all the other citizens in our city. And then the 30-day parking lot, same thing. So if you're going and you're visiting your family and you're spending the month with the family, or going on vacation, or what have you, doing a business trip, if it goes over 30 days, again, you can call that number up, and the airport they're very flexible on that. So I just want to make sure that we all are armed with the information as we go out there, and when you talk to your district, as we have opportunities to talk at our district reps meetings, I would please ask you to continue to push that information out there for our veterans. Put it on your social media, get the word out there. Again, they're flexible with this, and the signs are now the signs will be posted at the parking lots to make sure veterans are aware. But it's going to be that same kind of transitionary period. If we think about it, when we had the change in the rules and the regulations for the state of Texas for our handicapped parking spots, right? It took a while for us to get this message out there, and but I think that we continue, and we're still trying to get that message out there, right? So it's going to be like that. But the more we communicate, the better we flatten those lines of communication, the more that our veterans are informed out there. So just wanted to make sure we go over that one more time. This Saturday at the zoo, we will be doing a Hidden Helpers event. And it's going to be And I'm proud to say that in conjunction with the Elizabeth Dole Foundation, the City of El Paso, what the Hidden Helpers are, they're the dependent children of deployed service members. So they're going to be able to come to the zoo for a day of fun while their parents are deployed. You know, this is always a tough season, right, to be deployed, be away from your family. So give them a little bit of love and give them a really neat experience at our city zoo, which I think is one of our jewels in this gem of a city that we have, anyways. And so I think it's going to be a great event. And I really need to thank Linda Mays for helping us put that together, and the Elizabeth Dole Foundation for funding this event for our service members, spouses, and their families. So it should be a good event. We just returned last week from the American Defense Communities Conference on Installation Innovation, and it was a fantastic conference. Mr. Albright has been telling me for the last year that I needed to go to this, and I got out a couple of the conferences, not due because I didn't want to, but things have rose. And I'm so glad I did, because what an eye-opener on how our installations run and how the whole base realignment VAAC program works, and it really was talking about what we could do to help out our installation in our city in mutually beneficial ways. So it was a fantastic 3-day event that we had there. And then right after that, we came back on Wednesday, and then Thursday morning, we came here and we started doing the rehearsals for our veterans, our city employees veteran luncheon, and which was fantastic, and started at 11:30 and concluded at 1 p.m. at the convention center downtown. And we had over 300 of our veteran employees in the city of El Paso that were recognized. Each of them received that pin that I handed out to you all before, that so they proudly can proclaim that they're a veteran that works for the city of El Paso. And then we had 2 great parades last week. I appreciate everybody's participation in those parades. Just the amount of people that came out. Even Friday was it was a rainy day. I remember when I woke up that morning, I called Paul. I was like, "Hey, it's raining on your parade," because he was the Grand Marshal, right? And I was like, "Hey, are we still going to do this?" And he's like, we're not going to stop the Veterans Day parade." And so we went out there, and it was a great showing. We had a lot of our elected officials, a lot of our veterans out there, and there was a lot of people. Even though it was raining outside, there was still a lot of the people in the city of El Paso that came out and paid honors to our veterans. And I think it's the most gratifying thing that we can receive as veterans, is just that know that our people in our city still appreciate us and in our nation. And whenever we do something in El Paso, people come out in spades. Same thing for Saturday. That parade was fantastic. We had more people in the reviewing stands than we've had in a couple of years, so that was really great for me, anyways. And I would assume most other people out there. One push that I want to do for the city is one of my favorite events in the city that we do. That's the city driven, is our Winterfest, our annual Winterfest. If you haven't had a chance to go downtown and see our light show that we do for Winterfest, it's a fantastic event. This year it will kick off on 18 November at 4 p.m. down at San Juancito Plaza. There'll be fun. There's food out there. There's going to be festivities. We're going to have a whole bunch of shows. I have some posters that we can hand out. I would ask you to take those posters and put them out in places of high visibility, so we can get as many people to come to this event as possible. Last year it was super cold, so I'm hoping for a warmer Winterfest kickoff than it was last year. On the 21st, so next Tuesday, we'll be doing our last fellowship interview for the year. So for our Bridge Fellowship, I'm very proud to say we have done very well with our Bridge Fellowship this last year, and we continue to do well. So next Tuesday, we're going to be interviewing 3 Bridge Fellows that will be placed in one of our 27 departments, and one of them is a young Marine who's in Camp Pendleton right now. And he called up and he was like, "Hey, I really want to be a policeman in El Paso, so part of EPPD. So we're working the paperwork to bring him back to Fort Bliss as a Marine, so he can attend our academy, which starts, I think the testing phase ends in the beginning of January. So that's a huge win, because to me, the fellowship, one of the things that we want to do, fellowship, we want to keep veterans here that are ETSing or retiring out of Fort Bliss. But we also want this to extend across our 144 installations and the over 200,000 service members that are exiting the service at any given year. And we want to bring El Paso sons and daughters back to El Paso. That's a great win for us. But we also want to have it available to anyone else that just loves El Paso, because I think when you come here and you visit El Paso a little bit, I'm a little bit biased on this, you really see how wonderful of an environment, community we have, and they want to get back here. So this is the first step. We're actually doing a DoD skill bridge in which our application was accepted. It has not been approved yet, but this is the first one of our kind for the city of El Paso. Through the El Paso Police Department, we're going to have a Department of Defense skill bridge program. So any of those 200,000 service members out there, they can go to the Department of Defense skill bridge website, and now they'll be able to, they want to find a job or a fellowship in El Paso. They just put in El Paso, and bam, it will come up that we have a skill bridge program for our police department. We're going to continue to work this for our fire department and other outside organizations, so we have as many opportunities to bring fellows back into the city of El Paso from, again, like I said, across all the branches of services, and find meaningful employment, not a job, right, but a career. All right. That is all I have, subject to, is there anything, Paul, is there anything you would like to talk about, sir? Mr. Albright?
Yeah, so not really, Jerry. You covered quite a bit of it. Just to remind everybody that this is your connection between the city of El Paso, the Division of Veteran and Military Affairs, your city council members, and the veteran and military community. So a lot of folks are watching this, and so I appreciate all your hard work, your support, and we'll continue to work to improve the quality of lives of our veterans. So, guys, have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. So I do have two other things. So I also gave all the committee members our calendar, and Ruben's already proofread it, and so he's already showed me I made a couple of errors, and I thank you all for keeping me, keeping me right. So that's good. The other thing that I offer to y'all is the bylaws for the council, and I really would ask everybody, or the committee, I would ask everybody on the committee to really look through those bylaws. We're going to be doing an event pretty soon, probably at the beginning of the year, first quarter. We're going to relook our bylaws and make sure that it matches up with the city, with the law. But just to understand, what is our role in this committee? I'm pretty sure you all have done it before, but every time I read it, I learn something new. It's only like 6 pages, so shame on me. So if you would let me, if there's anything that you would like to change on the calendar, we could put that as on the agenda for the beginning of next year. But I am going to be submitting the application pretty soon. We can make changes later on. That's all I have for Veterans and Military Affairs, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anybody got anything else to add before we adjourn?
We have,
Just one thing, going back to one of the items that Jerry had mentioned was the Veterans Luncheon that we had last week at the Civic Center. That's the first time I've ever attended that event, and I thought that event went off just perfectly. To the 300 vets that were there, that were, invited to that luncheon, you could tell they had a really good time, especially when they were invited to participate in singing the branches songs and stuff like that. The other thing I was really impressed with was the tents that were out in front that were giving the veterans that were in attendance information that they probably didn't know about and didn't have. I thought that was really good, and I noticed that a lot of people were at those tents using them, so I thought that was good. And yeah, I just wanted to give kudos to everybody that had a hand in putting that luncheon together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I really appreciate that, because it's not just, so that luncheon is to serve our veterans, right? But it takes a village, and so there's a lot of people that were involved. I can't help but thank our PIO, led by Soraya Rube, and our production teams, all the people that put into that, the vendors that came out there to give that information to them, because we were able to connect, a numerous amounts of veterans to benefits that they didn't have. So that's why, taking every opportunity, and, Mr. Albright came up with that idea, so I got to give him kudos. But take every opportunity to connect our veterans to their benefits is good. Before we go, we have 2 more items that we have on the agenda. But so first of all, I want to put out a couple of events that are pertinent to our veteran population. So we have Operation Thankful Giving that's, Donna led. Donna, would you like to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, for the National Guard. Operation Thankful Giving is an appreciation to the National Guard border mission, Operation Lone Star. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and 60 have been identified as that could really use this box. And we were able to collect, actually we collected 125 because we also are taking care of another 55 veterans here in town. And they're pretty much completed. If anybody in the city and anybody here today wants to donate some last minute stuffing or mashed potatoes, you're welcome to come out. And we'll be shutting that down by 8 p.m. tonight. So all you gotta do is go to the Elks Lodge on Traywood 2278. And if you have anything you wanna drop off, please do so. And it's a celebration for what our veterans and what our National Guard is doing every day, and that's protecting us and serving us. Thank you so much.
And then on the 17th of November, so bright and early tomorrow, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. at the American Legion Post 58, which is located on 4724 Vulcan Street, the DAV will be doing with the El Paso, Texas DAV will be doing a legislative meeting. And I would invite, any concerned veterans out there, anybody has ideas on what legislation we need to be pushing up to our state. It'll be led by Mr. David Garcia. And if you and I will push out this information to y'all, so I don't see the POC, but I don't know if you've all received this email or not, but I'll shoot it out to y'all. But we need to let Mr. David Garcia know that they will be coming to it. And then we also need to thank Dave Garcia. Obviously, Mrs. Juarez here Miss Juarez was just nominated as the Veteran of the Year, the first female veteran, first woman Veteran of the Year for the county of El Paso. So congratulations. I almost missed that one. I would have had to beat myself up later on. So congratulations, ma'am. And Dave Garcia just finished doing really, almost 2 years of worth of the Veteran of the Year, because he's just a fantastic force for us out there fighting. He's a great voice for the veterans. We also have Operation Rods, remembering our deployed soldiers. And I think, Roberto, do you have any other information on that you can give to the board members and to anybody else listening?
Yes, I do. So this is, we have our own, very own National Guard unit from here in El Paso deployed in theater right now. And we don't want to forget about them. And one of those guys out there is my brother. He's one of my baseball coaches. So, we just want to let them know that we're not forgetting about them during this time. So we want to send them some care packages. So I'm gonna give you about 4 addresses real quick, where we have drop-off points for the care package goodies. So El Paso Rhinos Arena, located at 4100 East Paisano Drive. They were kind enough to set up a box for us. And a big shout out to them for supporting veterans on the Veteran Weekend, by the way. The next location will be Benavides Patterson 82nd Airborne Association Building at 2608 Fort Boulevard. Third location, Pima Medical Institute, 6926 Gateway Boulevard East. On Fort Bliss, Building 503 Bravo, Persian Boulevard. It's just straight, it's just right there in the front of the building, yeah, 503 Bravo. And the last one, at this point, we have the Army National Guard Armory located at 11701 Montana Avenue. And if anyone wants a box, feel free to contact myself or Commander Gutierrez, whose information is on the flyer as well.
Can we pick up boxes at those locations as well?
Get with me after this, and I'll see if we can coordinate with you.
Okay,
Yeah, because right now we don't have boxes at those locations, we just have drop-off points.
understood.
Yeah. Any other questions on Operation Rods? Thank you.
And then the very last thing is a project that I've been working on a lot for the city of El Paso, and I'd like to bring to attention, please help me spread awareness of this. We're going to be doing the first ever e-sporting competition in conjunction with the Sun Bowl for our Gold Star kids in the city of El Paso. This is the first time it's ever been done with a NCAA bowl game in conjunction with it. The event will be held on Fort Bliss at the Battlegrounds and Freedom Crossing, and that organization has been fantastic to support us along with a couple other organizations that are out there. And they will be on the 28th, they will be playing a full day of esports. Competition will be live streamed. There's going to be some watch parties out there. And then they will be a part of the Fan Fest. They will be part of the Sun Bowl game as far as taking the flag out there with us veterans on the day of the Sun Bowl, which is going to be fantastic. And there's going to be awards, luncheons, and prizes. And so there's a registration area on there. It's also on the Facebook on Veterans and Military Affairs, our Facebook, so you can actually get the digits off there. And it's also on our events calendar for the city of El Paso. And if you haven't been there yet, please ask everybody to please go to our City of El Paso, elpasotexas.gov website on the internet. In the top right-hand corner, there is a tab that says events on there, and you can click on that. And if you scroll down, we actually have a tab that is specific for our veterans events in the city. And so that's how we need to keep people connected. It's how you can all find out what's going on in the city and which events that you want to make it to support the veterans out there. Mr. Kane, officer.
Yeah, how can I get obviously there is an entity locally for the Gold Star Children. How can I contact the leadership of that?
Yeah.
How do I get a hold of it?
So the local representative here for Gold Star Families, one of them is Linda Mays, so I can get you her contact information. And then on Fort Bliss, they have the SOS, the Survivors Outreach Program there, and they are the ones that really maintain the list of Gold Star children out here. I do need to caveat on this, so it's not just Gold Star children. They're the dependents of any military service member that passed away while on duty. Okay, so that extends it out because we have people dying from invisible wounds out there too. And the whole purpose of this is, a lot of these Gold Star children, they kind of live in the legacy of that parent that passed away. And so this is one of those events where we get to put them up front on stage and let it just be all about them and their life. So.
Well, I'd like to interface with these entities because I'm a at no expense to the family.
Yes, sir. I'll get you connected with them, sir. This drives it to the end, so just want to reiterate that the next VAAC meeting will be Thursday, January 18th, 2024 at 10 a.m. And again, it's going to be hybrid. So I know it's a long ways away, so let's make sure we all put it on our calendars so we don't forget about it. But thank you so much for, again, I want to thank you all publicly for what you do as the Veterans Affairs Advisory Committee. It is a commitment, and it does take time. But like I've told you all before, I believe that this committee makes a difference, and I just appreciate the time and effort that you put in for the over 50,000 veterans that we have here in the city of El Paso. You all make a difference. Sir?
Anybody got anything else? If no one have any more questions, this meeting is adjourned. Let's vote.
Aye.